What is good, everybody? You know who I am, the Supreme Soup, and it is time for a top 10 list, which I decided to make. This is going to be top 10 Wu-Tang Clan songs, and this is kind of a mix between what I would consider their best and personal favorites. It's a mix of those two criteria, and you're gonna find that this might not be the most common Wu-Tang list. There are not very many 36 Chambers songs on this top 10, and I just want to put that out there before y'all get disappointed. I feel like 36 Chambers is not really the best project by them. My personal favorite project would be Wu-Tang Forever, but that's a video for another day. I just had to give y'all that disclaimer because this is my opinion. I don't want people to be like, oh, you got like two 36 Chambers songs in your top 10. No, I'll explain that, throughout this video why. But at number 10, I have Rushing Elephants from their album 8 Diagrams. Why I have this song here? I love the sample. I feel like I'm being chased by a stampede of rushing elephants. GZA definitely kills it with his verse. One line that stands out: we criticize producers till their joints are right, then acupuncture the track with pinpoints of light. Oh my God. That's the type of shit that'll make your headphones catch on fire, and then you gotta report back to Radio Shack or whoever. Radio Shack doesn't even exist anymore, does it? Like, yo, my headphones are defective. No, you just listen to that hot shit. And RZA's verse is actually my favorite on the song. The way he spells his name in his verse, the 18th letter followed by the mark of Zorro. Is there any more clever way? Like, a regular dude would just say the R to the Z to the A. He said, no, the 18th letter followed by the mark of Zorro. Like, that's what I love about them. They make you think. But on top of that, my number one favorite thing about this track is just that's not even it. I can't even beatbox right, but it's something like that along with the sample. It just sounds grand, it sounds hard, and it's dope. It's number 10 on my list. Number 9 is gonna be Do You Really? Similar song, I think, to Rushing Elephants, except it's just 7 years earlier from their album The W. The W, I definitely enjoy that. One of my favorite projects from them. Most people don't like The W, and I don't understand why. I mean, I understand it's not what you're looking for if you're living up to 36 Chambers expectations, regardless of whether you think that album is better or not. Do You Really? It's just another one of those songs where the sample fits in perfectly with how the kicks come. Boom, you got these big heavy drums, and there's a reason I put it next to Russian Elephants. Like, they're both large, in your face, obnoxious drums, and the hook is the best part of the song. I would have put this song higher probably, but it's definitely one of those songs. I don't think anyone stands out too much in particular. One of those hooks that kind of is, it's like it's grilling you. I heard you like the bang bang. Do you really? Like, putting you to the test. It's smooth. Number 8 on my list is The Jump Off, or Protect Your Neck, part 2. I don't even know. Just Protect Your Neck from The W. This is a nice track because it switches up halfway through the instrumental. On the album version, it switches up and just gets into this more grim kind of eerie synth. As soon as You God comes in, it switches up, becomes kind of a weird, malicious synth. On top of the fact where You God drops one of the most legendary rhymes that I've ever heard in a Wu-Tang track. Bitch, I'll put my dick on your lips. Solid. Are we on 7 yet? Yes, we are. Hollow Bones. Everybody in this track killed it. Killed their verse. Damn it. I mean, you got Raekwon who comes in right in the pocket of the track. They're literally going right in the pocket of the bass line. And my personal favorite highlight of this track would be Inspector Deck, the way he comes in, fleeing the crime scene, speeding, beefing, leaving behind cream, not even peeping that I was leaking. Like, the way it flows, the way it tells a story. And the thing I like about Deck is that he is one of the least obscure members of the group lyrically. He's not so much layering it with a hidden meaning. You know what he's saying. He's telling a story. He's the one who pulls you in. And I think that's why he kicks off so many tracks. He didn't kick this one off, but he kicks off songs like Triumph, kicks them off to draw people in. And I think he really just annihilated this song. And that's why I got it in my top 10. 6, The Mystery of Chess Boxing. This is my sole 36 Chambers incorporation on this list. I have it on here because I think everybody brings something to the table in this track. I really do. I really do. You God kicks it off strong. He has that growly, raspy, raw voice. Method Man on the hook. Method Man on the hook, annihilating it. Didn't even say anything. Didn't even have a verse. Just a hook. And I think he's the perfect one to do a Wu-Tang hook because he's got the memorable voice. That's why he does so many Wu-Tang hooks. ODB comes into the track. Oh, you know there's trouble coming. You know shit is about to get reckless. And then Ghostface comes in. The highlight, the biggest highlight of the track, Master Killer at the end. This technique attacks the immune system, disguised like a lie, paralyzing the victim. It's not often he's the one who kills the track, murders everybody, but he does it in this one. And so I gotta give him his props where his props are due. Shout out to Master Killer. He owned this track, and this was probably the only verse he had on the whole album. Vibe change. Number 5 would be For Heaven's Sake. Huge track. Very important to me. Why is it so high on my list? Why is it my 5th favorite Wu-Tang song of all time? Partially because of nostalgia. I'm not going to get too deep into the personal shit because I know you want the technical reason of why this song is so good. But long story short, I used to drive around with my bro to this track, around the streets, through the streets of my hometown, blasting it during the month of June, the smell of flowers in the air, and just having a good time with this beautiful instrumental. I mean, this is probably what it feels like to do shrooms. I don't know. Float away to this instrumental while hearing some hardcore lyricism. The only reason this isn't higher on my list is because I really only think there's one dude carrying the song, and that would be Inspector Deck. And of course, he has the first verse, kicks it off hard, rap style swing like Willie Mays, my eyes purple haze, I glide like hovercrafts on the Everglades, limited edition composition. Like, just the way he puts his words together is just so perfect. The instrumental is light and airy, and it feels like an awakening. It feels like a rebirth. It feels beautiful. It's just a beautiful instrumental. Might be even top 3 if I thought that Capadonna and Master Killer really came harder, but I feel like they just paled in comparison. So, it is what it is though. Number 4 on my list is The Heart Gently Weeps. Boom. I would consider myself a Beatles fan, so that's where I connect with this song. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, reinvented into a hip-hop / rock inspired track. Beautiful instrumental, and it's heavily underrated. I know friends of mine who are hardcore Wu-Tang fans. People don't give this song enough credit. Because when they heard that song, when I played this in my car and they heard it for the first time, they're like, yo, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful song. I'm like, yes, I agree. Why is it not more talked about? And on top of that, they had George Harrison's son playing guitar. You got the Beatles' offspring playing on your shit. I mean, what more can you ask for? That little guitar solo that they have, it repeats a few times, but they have it at the end of the song before they play the outro sample. I think it's dope. I think it's beautiful. Makes me feel happy. Makes me feel lovely. Shout out to that track. Number 3 on this list is Heaters. Heaters from Wu-Tang Forever. Top 3 without question. So it gets number 3 because it's a grand, epic beat. The sample, dun, 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 dun. It sounds like something you train to. It sounds like something you could work out to. You know what I mean? Inspector Deck kills it. But my favorite would be You God on this track. Bruh. No pun intended. Oh my God. I don't even know what he's saying. I don't even know what he's talking about in this verse. But it just sounds hard. He could say whatever he wants. Box talk sequence, powerhouse kick out, eyes dusty red, butt naked with my dick out. He's always talking about his dick, and I think that's excellent. I think you have to be an excellent person to love your own dick that much. I don't even like my dick that much. It's pure epic sequence of verses, no hooks getting in the way, just going hard, and that instrumental could knock 1,000 people dead. On to number 2. I have Triumph. You knew I was going to mention this track. Zero hook. Zero bullshit. Straight lyricism track. Kicked off with a very unique introduction by ODB. Followed by Inspector Deck. Of course, who else would deserve the first verse? I bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define how I be dropping these mockeries. Lyrically perform armed robbery, flee with the lottery. Possibly they spotted me. I could go on and do the whole verse. The entire verse. I don't even think there's a better verse by any member of Wu-Tang in any song. At least in their Wu-Tang discography. And I know this whole list has kind of been just me, being a huge stan for Inspector Deck, but I don't even care. That's how much I think he's an important asset to the group. Without Deck, I mean Method Man, who else would connect with the larger audience? As great as the other members are, like You God, he has a couple lines like when he's talking about his dick, like, yeah, that's an attention grabber. But besides that, he's not going to say something that's like, oh, fuck. Inspector Deck level. I like You God's verse. I like Method Man's verse. I like RZA's verse. My beats travel like a vortex through your spine to the top of your cerebral cortex. Make you feel like you busted a nut from raw sex. Oh my God. I could go on for days. And then we have a moment where Master Killer and GZA come in and they kick in some of that 5%er knowledge. At least Master Killer is. GZA kind of comes in with a very short but memorable verse where he kind of tells a story with his verse. War of the masses, the outcome disastrous. Though your names on walls engraved in plaques, those who went back received penalties for the acts. Another heart is torn, close ones born. Those, kind of wakes you up when you come back in with Ghostface Killer and Raekwon. They kind of like a tag team at the end of this track with their energy, higher level of energy than most of the other performers in this track. And that's why I think it's great that they come back in and wake people back up and bring people back into reality with their verses on this song. And after Ray's verse, it just ends abruptly. Jump like Ron Strickland. Boom, it's over. I think it's excellent how they just end the track. They don't got to fade out. They don't got to do any outro. They just leave you wanting more. And that's what's so great about this track. Honorable mentions before we get to number 1 that I think should be mentioned, but there's specific reasons I don't have them in the top 10. Method Man, METHOD, man. Great song, great energy, really hypes people up. Some of the most memorable lyrics, just because it's so erratic. It's got such a personality to it, But the only reason I don't have this in my top 10 is because it's just Method Man. It's technically a solo track, even though it's labeled Wu-Tang Clan. It's technically a solo track, and for that reason, I didn't put it on this list. Same goes for Clan in the Front, another honorable mention that I didn't put in my top 10 because it's technically just a solo song from GZA. But I will note, I love the way he builds up in this song. He starts off kind of soft, gets crescendos into more energy. What's that in your diaper? Oh, human feast. Like, he's just killing it. He's just bringing all this energy, and it comes out of nowhere. So shout out to GZA for that track. My third and last honorable mention is Protect Your Neck. You think I'm bugging for not having this in my top 10, but I think the reason I made this top 10 list is because I think there are so many underrated songs that deserve a spot, and for variety. And now finally, for number one on my list of top 10 favorite Wu-Tang songs, or top 10 Wu-Tang songs, is going to throw you off. You're not going to expect this one, but it's on the top of my list because it's a straight fucking banger. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what you think. You can think I'm full of shit. You can think I'm looking over so many other great songs. I don't care what you think. This is how I feel. Gravel Pit. This is the type of song that will connect with so many different kinds of people. You know, I mean, not everyone wants to sit and listen to Cream. I know you're tripping. Why is Cream not even on my top 10? Cream is a song that I never really connected heavily with. Of course, the instrumental is classic. The instrumental is one of the greatest beats of all time, one of the greatest hip-hop songs of all time, but it does not make my list because I don't really feel Cream that much. I feel songs like Gravel Pit, they're hard, they connect, they are just some shit you can blast in the whip and feel like a fucking Wu-Tang prehistoric madman, and you can just rock out to that shit. The hook, check out my gravel pit. Like, I don't even know what that means. I think gravel pit is probably like prehistoric pussy. I think Method Man has a nice verse. His voice, Method Man's voice makes so many Wu-Tang tracks. I could talk for hours about this song, so I don't want to get too much into it. You God, I think Meth and You God have my favorite verses on this track. The sample, that's dope. That's dope. I just feel like the hook is seductive. It kind of lures you in. It kind of gets you like, yeah, I do want to check out that Gravel Pit. I don't know. That's just my feelings. I threw this list together. I thought, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is the top 10 that I feel. How many top 10 lists are you going to have that are the same Wu-Tang songs or the same whatever songs? What are the Tupac list, Biggie list? You're going to have the same songs, which is why I always bring some underrated tracks into my top 10s. And for that reason, I think it's important to put this out and let people know this is my opinion. These are some songs that I think deserve attention, and these just happen to be my personal favorites. What is your top 10 Wu-Tang tracks? And what other top 10s do you want to hear from me? Comment below and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I got videos next to me. Click those and check those out. Go right ahead. Comment over there for a shout out. Comment if you subscribe for a shout out. And I'll have more top 10 lists coming soon. I appreciate everyone watching. More coming soon. Stay tuned. Peace.